What are you doing? Told you I'd be back. I started a show and then had something to do, but here I am. It's me, Zen. Thought we would talk about the slippery slope of be nice or leave culture. I mean, obviously, we're aware that of people's struggles, and you should be nice to people because you never know what they've been through. And this I agree with, of course. But there's quite a slope, and we're in the midst of it, where it's past the point of political correctness, and which is funny because politicians all they are is nice and lie. They lie all the time about everything, but they're nice about it, and it's so pernicious. It's found its way into every aspect of our society. That as long as you're nice, you can say anything you want. But if you're offended by people's nonsense and lies, and you react to it some way, and that you're like, what or what is happening here? You're the bad guy. That's the perception that you're wrong. Well, it doesn't even matter what they said. You're just being mean. So the lies and the filthy way that businesses and these corporations and these parts of these scientists and these religions and these governments and these all of the strain and lie that they put on culture, the lies, how filthy and just that's fine as long as you're nice about it. But the people that point it out and that are a little bit like upset with it, you're wrong and you're bad. You're bad. You're a bad guy. You're bad for feeling a certain way and expressing it. But the people doing the crazy, ill, call it evil if you like, or whatever you want, the things that are not, I wouldn't say very constructive, but those people, at least they're nice about it. At least they're nice when they're swindling you. At least they're nice. At least you felt good when you got robbed. At least you got, they're just damaging your psyche. They're ruining your family. They're ruining your business. They're stealing from you, taking your money, taking your centeredness, your calm, your They just ruin all of that. But they're nice about it. But if you have anything to say about it, and it's not even the people that they'll just stand there and go, ha ha, everybody else is going to attack you because you're pointing the truth, but you're doing. But if you try to argue with these people in a sensible, reasonable manner, you can't win that way. Because if you're making reasonable, rational statements, those don't work. Because they never argue from that point, and people don't argue from that point. They argue from whatever the popular opinion is. They argue from, that seems right. That's the way I think too. Yeah, most people don't. There's no logic or reason or order to the way they think. That's the way they've been made. That's the way they've been made to feel. They feel good about that. But yeah, you point out the obvious, glaring, deliberate things that are occurring, and you can't be upset with that. You're not allowed to be. Because if you're not nice, you gotta leave. But the people that are lying and stealing and robbing, they can stay as long as they're nice about it. Let me explain it this way. If this thing going on right now was a video game and you bought a video game and you're playing the video game, you would either return it, you would write a letter to the company, you'd be like, this game is broken. You would, whoever made the video game, you'd be like, I want my money back. Or at least you would just stop playing and break the game. You'd be like, this is silly. No one would choose to play this because It's so silly. It's not even silly like like Raving Rabbits. You ever played Raving Rabbits? Rayman, Raving Rabbits? Awesome game. Funny. It's just goofy. Did you ever play Katamari Damacy? Silly game. A lot of silly games. This is silly in the sense that like it's preposterous. It's just who would choose to play this? Nobody. There doesn't seem to be an upside for the people that are not doing well. Oh, it's terrible. And for the people that are doing well, do they have any degree of mental health? Maybe they don't even know what mental health feels or looks like. So their assumption is every day is down here, but at least I have a lot of fun toys. I got stuff. I got things, and so their standard deviation of what healthy is. I think it's the idea that we have normalized sickness, normalized unhealthy habits. We can prove it. Go to a doctor and ask them to take your blood tests and things like, hey, what's your blood pressure and they'll tell you, or ask them like, what's the average weight or whatever. They'll tell you what the average or normal is. Go to a school system, and they've lowered expectations in every way. So the scores they've normalized below average. They've normalized unhealth. They've just said, well, normally people that are 5'8", they're 130 pounds, whatever. But is that healthy? Normally, people that are they've normalized things that are very, very not in your best. Oh well, normally the blood sugar is this. Normally, the IQ is this. Normally and in fact, normal doesn't mean good. It doesn't mean healthy. It never has. But they've normalized. They just say normal. That's normal. I don't care what normal is. I'm not interested in being normal. That's a standard deviation of the middle of the road. Yeah. It's like that's great. Huh. I mean, we should normalize healthy. But would that standard be unachievable? We've taken standard deviation from a level of, hey, let's improve and be better and good, to average now is literally CTD, circling the drain. That's standard. People are clueless, goofy, not helpful, not healthy. Everything that would be considered degradation of individuals and a culture. What's up, Skull? Yeah, so it's kind of it's like this whole idea that you need to be nice to old people and nice to this, and no, I don't see it. I've had old people just outright be rude to me, and the expectation is now I gotta, because they've had a hard life, I gotta just accept that. I gotta accept a verbal, mental lashing from people because of their ignorances. I mean, granted, I'll normally just go, okay, yeah, whatever, and walk away as the best you can, right? But like, I'm not gonna sit here and be abused by your ignorances and your stupidity. I don't care who you are, what you're doing, and where you come from, and how old you are. And I think that there's this, and that's this political correctness that everybody has to be politically. Popularly, this is not the way we say that and how we say it. It's going to be nice and avoid these words and this and that. Why? So we can always cushion everybody's, ignorances, cushion their because they're incapacitated. We can help these people, but most of these people don't want to be helped. You're not trying to push people off into the. I mean, none of that's happening. But when these people, their ignorances and their ingratiated attitudes of they're more important. They come through and they're with their nonsense, and you have to whoa, okay, sure, whatever you say, bucko. Like, why? And it happens time, and so you gotta follow these societal mechanisms, these standards that say, be nice, be cordial. No matter if you're being lied to and if you're being attacked for ridiculous things. This is so political correctness, be nice. All of these social standards. Show no feelings. Don't turn into a mechanical robot. But the thing is, that would be fine and all to have people be cordial, but when you're aggressively attacked from one side, but they're doing it with a smiling face, telling you what to do and telling you how to do it, even though they're completely bonkers, bizarre, wrong. Where does the it's profound that the people that go along with it and agree with it, they believe it, and they can't even see how silly it is. They can't even see how it undermines whatever humanness is, whatever capacities you have and were born with, your mind, your heart, your body, your senses. Those are taken away from you, and don't use those. And when someone tries to use the things that I was given as whatever I am, maybe I'm not human. Maybe I'm a demigod. Okay, then I'll be that. But if I'm gonna just go along, I'm mankind. I'm like these, whatever. This is all. We're all the same. Then I was given these things. I was given this mind that works at a pretty good level. I would say healthy level. I wouldn't say it's normal. I have this body that I can smell something. I can see something. I can hear something. I can taste something. I can speak something. I can feel things. I can move. I'm going to use all of those things. And when people use those things, they go, no, don't use those. We've already given you the instructions. We've already given you here's how it is, and here's what we learned with science and religion. This is what you get. And now you follow these rules. But those are, I'm observing these things not be good or healthy or help. So I'm not going to do those. And because I'm saying something about it and doing something, no, you got to do that. But why? And you ask why? You can't ask why. Because they don't know why. Because it's following the same two jackasses from Rome. That's the idea. Follow the last generation. So for what? We're following to what? To the same place they go. To the crematorium? To the graveyard? To the cemetery? You gonna follow the exact same path? Because I don't know, it doesn't look like a good one. So well, welcome, whoever's showing up here. It is always quite an oddity when and how people show up here, but I'm pretty familiar with how people do not get the bell. The bell doesn't always work for people. They get unsubbed to me. I get it. What you gonna do? Just happy people are here listening a little bit. Whoever is here. I do wonder in what way my attitude would change if I knew that I had a larger audience. I don't think it would, but and I've always said I don't want a million subs. I don't want to deal with all of the other nonsense that goes along with that, which is stupid people saying stupid things that I just have to either address it, which would take up too much time, or I ignore it completely, and then it's like, oh, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't, I don't really want that huge audience, but it does. I wonder what it would change about how I interact, because then, as I've told people before, how would I interact with the people that are commenting over here? Because I like that part. There'd be too many comments. What would I do? Would my answers be shorter? No, I don't think so. Would the shows be longer? I don't know. It was one of those kind of things. Well, it hasn't really changed much. Like the reason that I talked the way I did in my early videos versus now it's changed a little bit, but has nothing to do with how many people are listening. It really doesn't. Really doesn't affect me in any way whatsoever. It's just that I just talk differently because I've learned different things, and it's growing. It's growth as a being, as an infinite and complex in this human body. The possibilities are endless. There's no thing. There's no form to this whole thing. It's just infinite creation and possibilities. And you just look around and what's new. And I learned from that. You know what I mean? What's up, Divine? What are you doing? Maybe I've had too much coffee this morning. It is Sunday. It is cold. It is below 40. So F all that noise. Although my, speaking of my windows open, I gotta open my window. Because I closed it yesterday because it was raining. I don't like it raining in my house. But it's not raining now. There we go. It is about 40 degrees outside, which to me is, I don't think humans should be living in temperatures that cold. I don't think it's right. I think we should be, I think we should be wear less clothes the better. I think the idea of layers and more clothes has to do more with fashion than anything. It's 7 degrees. Whew. Yeah, single digit degrees. I don't think we talked about weather a lot. I just don't think it's let me explain it from another way. If it weren't for the corporate entities and the jobs and the governments and the rules and laws and in different places and where you're from, and people just went to, and it was available to everyone, the whole thing, that the map is wide open, there's the same type of employment and things everywhere, and people were not, the amount of people that would live anywhere that it goes to winter would be so minimal that people would choose. If we didn't have a preconceived idea of, oh, we like the cold and we like this and we like the seasons, if we were we were to follow what our being desires, we would be sun chasers. We would follow the sun. I wouldn't say everybody would go right to the equator and go where it's super hot, but certainly the temperate zones would be where people would live. There'd be no, look at what animals do. The only animals, there's no justification whatsoever in the real world where the animals live. The only ones that stay where it's cold is when they're suited for the cold. And humans are not suited whatsoever for cold weather. Not at all. Having the idea that you have to put on layers and layers and socks and this and that and start, it's inconceivable. We would by our very nature go to places where it's warm. But the construct has got us so confused, so crooked in our brains that, but again, that we think that we want to be in the seasons. We think we want all this other shit. No. We got stuck in those places to get away from certain things. And then once we got there, you get a job, you make enough money, you have a nice house, you made some friends, you got some family there, whatever. Then you have your, and people will put up with it. Yeah, and they'll justify coldness. If you say someone's cold, you don't want to be around people that are cold, but yet, the cold, the crisp, the air, okay. Put your bathing suit on and go outside. Let me know when you're doing okay. No domicile. Stop that. A domicile is not human. That's something we built. That's something, that's not godlike. That's not what animals do. They don't build domiciles. They go where their how the climate, the environment offers them exactly what they require. Why do birds fly south during the winter? It's no reason to be in where it's cold. But why do humans stay there? I think birds fly north in the winter because they have wings and they like to fly. And because they want to stay in a certain type of climate. And they're capable of doing that. Word out. You have a piece of equator in Eastport, Maine. I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Yeah. I mean, hey, if it's build it and enjoy it. Like if here's an idea. Let me jump into real quick. If we could build a dome within a dome, so like a house, then I get it. But most people, there's something about building a structure, a domicile, that is very reckless and unhealthy. The shape that we use, like we look at different different designs of houses and some of these other earth ships and things, and the materials it's made out of, and why, and how it's built ergonomically and with the environment. And there's some places that, yeah, building a dome inside of a dome, but do you want to live inside of a smaller and smaller and smaller space? The idea of having a roof over your head and an indoor space should be a smaller part of the human experience and existence. Being inside should be for minimal aspects of our creative endeavors. Some people, yes, they like to be inside, and some people like the cold, but as a general rule, no. Divine. Oh, for real. See, yeah. Even you. See, that's what I'm saying, Divine. Even you like it there. I mean, we've talked about this before, right? You don't mind the season. You like the farmstead. You like to having the greenhouse, and yeah, I hear you. I think most people. I mean, I can think about most of my life. The only reason I didn't move, I didn't have it lined up. You're a kid, even 20s, whatever. You ain't got a bank account. I mean, you don't know anybody in another city, so you ain't got no family there. You don't have a job secure lined up. You don't have, like, you got enough money in the bank to get there. You got to move, or you're gonna sell all your things. How's that work? And then when you get there, are you sure you can afford a house, a rental? You sure you can get a job? And so that, like, who wouldn't move? Most people would. The only thing that keeps people, again, usually it's family, support systems. That's about what I would have moved earlier in life. I just didn't have an opportunity to. I'm in college, working in a pizza shop. I'm working at a job. It's not just, hey, you got anything open in the South? They don't have businesses there. This is like house and hey, Divine, how much could you? Just as a, and now here's another thing, just to go into it as a possibility and also a restriction. How long would it take? And then if you were to sell it, you still have to have, you still have to have a place to go as soon as it's sold, right? You sell a place, you'd have to already have gone and found a place. I mean, could you? How much is your place? I mean, is it worth enough where you could, it's already paid for. You could sell and buy and be still at ground zero. Like, if your place was worth, say, 300, you go somewhere, hey, shit, you can make some money. Go sell your house for 300, go somewhere warmer, buy one for 250, you got 50K in the bank. I mean, that's a possibility, but then it still takes all of the other things you'd have to go and look for. I mean, and for other people, they still got a job to do. Can they travel? Is there, I mean, there's a whole, see, people, you get stuck in locations. Being mobile is a difficult thing. It's becoming, in one way, this whole technological revolution or evolution, and people working from home and being able to do things online. It is quite freeing. People can be more mobile. Like the idea, the whole people that are turning vans into houses and tiny homes and things. You know, some people say how that's kind of like this, oh, crazy restriction and da 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 da, and it's part of the agenda and da da. I don't see what the dilemma is. I mean, I see how people see that, but like most people I know, they're not necessarily indoor people. There's not so much like even like what I have right now. I have a lot of stuff in a small space. How much do I really need? How much does anybody really need? And why? For what purpose? They see the idea of having a homestead, even though they don't have like a big family. They're like, well, I need this and this, and I need this room for this. And reality, because they're not outdoor people, they're indoor people. Outdoor people, they see like I'm parking this, and they're inside to take a nap and wash up, maybe cook, maybe probably not even cook, but cook outside they can. There's not much reason to be all cramped up in a small space. But living in it, you know, people think of living in a small space, like turning a van or something into a mobile home or tiny house. They see it as because they live inside, so they think they're living in a small space. No, their living room is literally opening the side door, and wherever they are, there's their living room. Oh, 90, you got 93 of them? Gee, I didn't realize it was that many. Well, shit, even at that point, you could keep some of them. You know? 93 acres? Like, shit. Might as well keep some of that land. I mean, you don't need to sell all that, and you can split that in half. Shit. Fucking 10 acres is crazy amount of land. That's huge. You keep half of that just for whatever. You see, even that, you build a tiny little something there. You could be globetrotting, you know, multiple places to live. Hey, if it wasn't for the fact you were in Maine, I would let you rent me some of your. I'll rent an acre of your property, put a little tiny little cabin on there. I'd be set. Yeah. But again, see like that. Like if somebody just was like, "Oh, I'll give you," if somebody were to give me a place in the north that already was set, I'd still have a hard time going, yeah. I mean, the struggle of things is still. I'd rather be where it's warm. I couldn't even, because then then the struggles change. What do I have to do then? Okay, then where's my neighbors? Then no social interaction. Then if I'm gonna go outside, extra gear, super isolated. Da da da. It's you know, it's always juggling and trading off things. Yeah, that is always it's always interesting the trade off of how much social interaction, how friendly are the people, what's the weather like, what's the entertainment, and the kind of things that are that keep you engaged with the world and yourself for that matter. Again, I've done the cabin thing. I've done the it's cool for a little bit, but I'd go stir crazy. Like I ain't come in this world just to sit. I could sit in a room, in the white empty room in the sky, and not interact with anything as long as I wanted. Right? You choose to come here to interact with all this shit, and then people that go, oh no, I just want to be in a cabin or whatever. Like, yeah, for a little bit, it's cool. Meditation. Get your Hermes Trismegistus. Get that on. Oh, animal and bird. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, I did not know all this. Yeah, I knew you had. I knew you had lots of fun, and it was importante. Yeah. Hey, Divine. Um, Baxter State Park was that Gary's? You know Gary Baxter? Gary's in North Carolina. I wonder if he's related. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe you're related to Gary Baxter, huh? I mean, there's a possibility. I don't know where the hell he's from. I think he's from North Carolina. Wonder how far the Baxter name stretches across many state lines, all the way from the northern down to the goddamn Yankees up there. Well, that is the interesting thing about like uh, the amount of dealing with people and the amount of how much different types of relationships and time of your life and seasons. You know, they say there's friends for seasons, there's seasons for certain things, and there's times for certain things. I could see why at certain times that living in a city is just ridiculous and why nobody'd want to do it. I can see why people would want to do it. I can see why living in a country, in a small cabin or whatever, would be like. Could you imagine somebody trying to get that money, get their life in, and have some relation, trying to do something? Well, they can't do that from a cabin, so they got to go. They got to do that New York City life. I mean, I don't think you need to do New York City as it's too much chaos, but you know. Well, I mean, do you know that for sure? Maybe you should get. I'm gonna ask Gary to look up that familia tree. Uh, he might be he might be off one of those little. I mean, I don't know a lot of Baxters. I'm trying to think of. Actually, um, I do know. I grew up with a friend of mine's. Friend of mine growing up, his there was a Baxter on one side of his family. Yeah, that was in New York. Hey, but Divine, aren't we all related though? What should I do today? It's too cold to be outside. See, like I'm in a city and it's still too cold to be outside. Ugh. What is it? Saturday morning? No, it's Sunday morning. The hell am I talking about? It's like 40. Hmm. Hmm. See, today is a day of indoor activities. Oh, you already have. You already okay. Mm. Well, huh. Speaking of what to do today, I think I do want to go have maybe a little breakfast. It is Sunday. I should have a little Sunday brunch. I haven't really consumed a good meal in quite a while, so I'm considering that. Let's see. It was like 30 minutes in. I think I got off. I think I got the beginning of the video. Uh, Express what I wanted to. I'm gonna go and get myself a snack for breakfast. Maybe something nice. And yeah, it's good to see you, Divine, and everybody else that was here. Everybody here knows you're allowed to donate to me. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. It's in the description box. Also, take care of yourself. Everybody knows this, because you are the most important person on your journey. Then help out others when you can along the way. Yeah, I'll probably be back on here a little later. I'm feeling very snacky because I got up and I had coffee, and now my stomach is kind of like rah, 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 rah. So I'm gonna go snack, and you guys have a fun day. I'll talk to you later. Peace out, Divine, and everybody else. Be weird. Enjoy yourself.